Gratitude is the absolute key to manifesting anything you desire in this world. When you truly understand this principle and apply it as I shall explain tonight, you will hold in your hands the master key to all creation. The creative power of gratitude. Your world is nothing more than the outpicturing of your consciousness. Everything you perceive is simply your consciousness pushed out. This is the first principle you must understand. The second is this: consciousness can be controlled, directed, and focused through the feeling of gratitude. When you enter the state of gratitude, you are entering a state of completion, of fulfillment. And here is the secret that so few understand: the feeling of gratitude is not merely a response to receiving your desire. It is the very means by which your desire is fulfilled. In the Bible, we read that before Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, he said, "Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me." He expressed gratitude before the physical manifestation appeared. He did not say, "Father, please hear me," or "Father, I hope you will hear me." No, he gave thanks for what was not yet visible to the human eye, but was absolute in his consciousness. This is the pattern you must follow. You must have the audacity, the boldness to give thanks for what is not yet seen. For in the realm of spirit, in the realm of consciousness, your desire already exists in its completed state. Your gratitude acknowledges this truth and brings it into physical expression. The two worlds of manifestation. Let me explain something fundamental about the nature of reality. There are two worlds in operation at all times: the world of Caesar, which is the physical world of effects, and the world of God, which is the spiritual world of causes. Most people live entirely in the world of effects. They look at their current circumstances and react to them. If they see lack, they feel lack. If they see limitation, they feel limitation. And in doing so, they perpetuate these very conditions in their lives. But there is another way to live. You can choose to live from the world of causes. In this world, you do not react to what is, you create what will be. And gratitude is the means by which you accomplish this creation. When you express gratitude for having received what you desire even before its physical manifestation, you are operating in the causal realm. You are impressing upon your subconscious mind the feeling of fulfillment. And your subconscious mind, which knows no difference between what is imagined and what is real, begins immediately to bring about the conditions that match this feeling. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful imagination. This is the operation of an immutable law. For the subconscious mind is the creative power within you, and it is completely impersonal. It takes your dominant feelings and brings them into expression, regardless of whether those feelings are of lack or of abundance, of fear or of love, of doubt or of gratitude. The mechanics of gratitude. Let me now explain precisely how I use gratitude to manifest my desires, so that you may apply this same technique in your own life. First, I identify clearly what I wish to experience. I do not concern myself with how it will come about, or whether it seems possible based on my current circumstances. I simply identify the end result I wish to experience. Then, I close my eyes and create a scene in my imagination that implies the fulfillment of this desire. This scene must be one that would naturally occur if my desire were already realized. For instance, if I desire financial abundance, I might imagine a friend congratulating me on my new prosperity. If I desire perfect health, I might imagine a doctor expressing amazement at my complete recovery. Now comes the crucial step. As I dwell in this imagined scene, I deliberately generate the feeling of profound gratitude. I give thanks to God, to my deeper self, to the Christ within, for having granted me this desire. I feel the gratitude as intensely as possible, allowing it to permeate every cell of my being. I continue in this state of thankfulness until the feeling becomes so real, so vivid, that I experience what I call the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is a sensation of absolute completion, of knowing beyond any doubt that what I have imagined is now mine. And finally, I carry this feeling of gratitude with me throughout my day. Whenever doubts arise, whenever the outer world seems to contradict what I know to be true in consciousness, I simply return to the feeling of gratitude. I give thanks once again for the fulfillment that is already mine in spirit and is now moving into expression in the world of form. The gratitude before the fact. There is a concept I wish to emphasize strongly, for it is frequently misunderstood. Most people believe that gratitude follows manifestation, that we should give thanks after we receive. But I tell you now, the secret of accelerated manifestation is to express gratitude before the fact. This is what the scripture means when it says, before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. This is the gratitude before the fact, giving thanks for what is desired as though it had already been received. When you express gratitude before the fact, you are making a definite claim on the invisible. You are establishing ownership in consciousness. And since all manifestation follows consciousness, what you claim in consciousness must materialize in your world. Consider this truth. Would you give thanks for something you did not believe you had received? Of course not. The very act of expressing gratitude implies possession. Therefore, gratitude before the fact is one of the most powerful declarations of faith possible. The great secret of manifestation is to feel the reality of the state desired and to live in the thankfulness of its fulfillment even before that fulfillment is visible to the mortal eye. For eyes of flesh see only effects, the inner eye of imagination sees causes. And it is from causes that all effects flow. Gratitude dissolves resistance. One of the most remarkable aspects of gratitude is its ability to dissolve resistance within your own consciousness. For manifestation to occur smoothly and rapidly, there must be no inner conflict, no contradiction between your conscious desires and your subconscious beliefs. Many people fail to manifest their desires because while they consciously affirm what they want, their subconscious mind is filled with doubts, fears, and contrary beliefs. This creates a state of division, and a house divided against itself cannot stand. Gratitude heals this division. When you dwell in the feeling of thankfulness for having received your desire, you cannot simultaneously entertain doubts about its fulfillment. The two states are mutually exclusive. Just as light automatically dispels darkness, gratitude automatically dispels doubt. Furthermore, gratitude generates a positive emotional charge that penetrates deep into the subconscious, impressing upon it the reality of the wish fulfilled. The subconscious does not respond to words or affirmations nearly as powerfully as it responds to feelings. And gratitude is one of the most positive, most elevated feelings possible. When you fill your consciousness with gratitude, you are literally programming your creative subconscious to manifest your desire. You are aligning all levels of your being, conscious, subconscious, and superconscious, with the fulfillment of your intention. Persistence in gratitude. I must now speak about the importance of persistence. Many people attempt to practice gratitude for a day or two and then, seeing no immediate results, abandon the practice and return to their habitual states of consciousness. This is a grave error. The subconscious mind is not unlike the soil in which seeds are planted. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up each day to see if it is growing. You water it, you ensure it receives adequate sunlight, and you trust in the natural process of growth. Eventually the seed sprouts and grows into a plant. Similarly, when you impress a desire upon your subconscious through gratitude, you must allow time for this impression to develop and express itself. You must persist in the feeling of gratitude, never wavering in your assumption that what you have claimed in consciousness is now yours. Remember the words of Jesus, therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Note carefully the tense used, believe that ye receive them present tense, and ye shall have them future tense. First the acceptance in consciousness, then the manifestation in reality. Persistence in gratitude means maintaining an unwavering conviction that what you have claimed in consciousness must, by divine law, externalize itself in your world. It means refusing to be swayed by appearances, refusing to accept the evidence of the senses when that evidence contradicts what you know to be true in spirit. As you persist in gratitude, you will discover that manifestation does not always occur in the way you might have anticipated. The infinite intelligence of your deeper self knows the shortest, most efficient path to the fulfillment of your desire, and this path may surprise you. Be open to unexpected channels of fulfillment and give thanks for them when they appear. The test of true gratitude. How can you know if your gratitude is genuine, if it is of the kind that leads to manifestation? There is a simple test. True gratitude is accompanied by a deep sense of peace. When you have successfully impressed your desire upon your subconscious through the feeling of gratitude, you will experience a profound relaxation and letting go of anxiety and struggle. You will no longer feel the need to make things happen through personal effort alone, for you will know that the infinite creative power within you has been activated and is now at work bringing your desire into fulfillment. This peace is your confirmation that you have done your spiritual work effectively. It is the signal that you have transferred your request from the conscious striving mind to the subconscious creative mind, and that the process of manifestation is now in motion. If after your period of grateful imagination, you still feel anxious, still feel the need to manipulate external circumstances, still wonder how your desire will be fulfilled, then you have not yet fully entered the state of true gratitude. Return to your inner work and deepen the feeling until that sense of peace descends upon you. For true gratitude is not merely a mental exercise, it is a complete transformation of your emotional state. It is the feeling that results when you know not hope, not believe, but know that what you desire is already young, the only realm that ultimately matters, the realm of consciousness. Gratitude as a way of life. Up to this point, I have spoken of gratitude primarily as a manifestation technique, a method for bringing your desires into physical reality. But I would be remiss if I did not emphasize that gratitude is far more than a technique. It is a way of life. The most powerful manifestors are those who live in a continuous state of thankfulness, who perceive the abundant good that surrounds them at all times, who recognize the unlimited potential that dwells within them. When gratitude becomes your natural state, your default response to life, you enter a perpetual cycle of giving and receiving. For the universe responds to your thankfulness by giving you even more to be thankful for. This is the meaning of the scripture. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. Begin to practice gratitude not only for what you wish to manifest, but also for what you have already manifested. Give thanks for your current blessings, no matter how small they may seem. Give thanks for the air you breathe, the food you eat, the clothes you wear, the roof over your head. Give thanks for your senses, your faculties, your ability to imagine and to think. As you develop this habit of continuous gratitude, you create a consciousness that is naturally aligned with abundance rather than lack, with love rather than fear, with fulfillment rather than emptiness. And from such a consciousness, manifestation flows effortlessly and abundantly. The gratitude journal? Let me share with you a simple but powerful practice that has greatly enhanced my ability to maintain a state of gratitude, keeping a gratitude journal. Each night before sleep, I write down at least 5 things for which I am grateful. Some of these are manifestations that have already appeared in my life. Others are manifestations that exist only in my imagination, but which I claim as mine through the act of giving thanks. This practice accomplishes several important objectives. First, it focuses my attention on the good that is already present in my life, training my mind to perceive abundance rather than lack. Second, it allows me to review and reinforce the manifestations I am currently working on, impressing them more deeply upon my subconscious. And third, it sends me to sleep with a consciousness filled with thankfulness, allowing my subconscious to work throughout the night on the fulfillment of my desires. I highly recommend this practice to you. Make it a sacred ritual, a time for communion with your deeper self, a time for acknowledging the creative power that dwells within you and giving thanks for its unfailing response to your conscious direction. The role of action in grateful manifestation. I have emphasized the importance of inner work, of impressing your desire upon your subconscious through grateful imagination. But I must also address the role of action in the manifestation process. When you have successfully entered the state of gratitude for your fulfilled desire, you will find yourself naturally inspired to take whatever actions are necessary for its physical realization. These actions will not be forced or strained. They will emerge organically from your new state of consciousness. This is what Scripture means when it says, faith without works is dead. Your grateful imagination is the faith. The actions you are inspired to take are the works. Both are necessary for complete manifestation. However, these inspired actions differ fundamentally from the anxious, effortful actions that characterize most people's attempts to achieve their goals. When your actions emerge from a consciousness of gratitude, they are infused with a sense of certainty and joy. You act not to make something happen, but to express what you know has already happened in consciousness. Furthermore, you will find yourself guided to take actions that you might never have conceived through conscious planning alone. The infinite intelligence of your subconscious mind, having accepted the impression of your fulfilled desire, now orchestrates events and inspires actions that lead to its most efficient manifestation. Trust this guidance. When you feel prompted to make a phone call, to visit a particular place, to speak to a certain person, honor these impulses. They are the natural outworking of the manifestation process that you have initiated through grateful imagination. Gratitude through challenges. Now I must address a question that inevitably arises. How do I maintain gratitude when facing challenges, when the outer world seems to contradict the fulfillment I have claimed in consciousness? This is perhaps the greatest test of your understanding and application of the principle I am sharing with you tonight, for it is relatively easy to feel grateful when all is going well, when manifestations are appearing rapidly and effortlessly. The true test comes when you encounter what appear to be obstacles, delays, or setbacks. In such moments, you must remember that appearances are just that, appearances. They are not reality. They are simply the shadow of past states of consciousness. Your current conscious assumption, maintained with gratitude and conviction, will transform these appearances in due time. When challenges arise, do not succumb to disappointment or doubt. Instead, intensify your gratitude. Give thanks not only for the fulfillment of your desire, but also for the perfect resolution of the seeming obstacle. Know that this challenge is not a contradiction of your manifestation, but a necessary step in its unfoldment. Consider the example of Joseph in Scripture, who was sold into slavery and later imprisoned before rising to become the second most powerful man in Egypt. Had he stopped his story at the point of imprisonment, it would have appeared to be a tragedy. But these apparent setbacks were actually necessary steps toward the fulfillment of his destiny. So it is with the challenges you face. They are not denials of your good, they are simply parts of the bridge of incidents leading to the full realization of your desire. Give thanks for them, knowing that all things work together for good to those who maintain the consciousness of being loved and guided by God. Gratitude and divine timing. Another essential aspect of manifestation through gratitude is understanding and accepting divine timing. When you impress your desire upon your subconscious through grateful imagination, you set in motion a sequence of events that will culminate in its physical manifestation. But the timing of this manifestation is not always under your conscious control. The infinite wisdom of your deeper self knows the perfect moment for the externalization of your desire. It knows what preliminary manifestations must occur, what arrangements must be made, what developments must take place before the complete fulfillment can appear. Trust this divine timing. Do not attempt to force manifestation through anxious striving or impatient action. Instead, rest in the certainty that what you have claimed in consciousness is now in the process of expression, and it will appear at exactly the right moment, not a minute earlier or a minute later. Use any period of waiting not as a time of frustration, but as an opportunity to deepen your gratitude. Give thanks that the perfect unfoldment is occurring, that all necessary elements are being assembled, that your good is hastening toward you at maximum speed, consistent with divine harmony. Remember the words of Scripture, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. What appears as delay from the limited perspective of the human mind is perfect timing from the unlimited perspective of the divine mind. Give thanks for this perfect timing, and you will experience it as perfect indeed. The compounding effect of gratitude. I would now like to share with you one of the most remarkable aspects of manifestation through gratitude, the compounding effect. Just as money invested wisely grows through the principle of compound interest, consciousness invested in gratitude grows through a similar principle of spiritual compounding. Each act of grateful imagination builds upon the previous one, creating an ever-increasing momentum toward manifestation. When you begin this practice, you may find it requires considerable effort to generate and maintain the feeling of gratitude, especially for desires that seem far removed from your current experience. But as you persist, you will discover that gratitude comes more easily, more naturally, and with greater intensity. Furthermore, as your initial manifestations begin to appear, they serve as confirmation of the principle, strengthening your faith and enhancing your ability to feel grateful for desires not yet externalized. This creates a virtuous cycle. Gratitude leads to manifestation, which inspires greater gratitude, which leads to greater manifestation, and so on without end. This is why those who truly understand and apply this principle find that their manifestations accelerate over time. What once required weeks or months of grateful imagination may eventually require only days or even hours. For the subconscious mind, once thoroughly convinced of your ability to manifest through gratitude, responds with increasing speed and precision to your conscious direction. Gratitude and forgiveness. There is an important connection between gratitude and forgiveness that must be addressed, for unforgiveness is one of the primary blocks to successful manifestation. When you harbor resentment, anger, or blame toward others, or indeed toward yourself, you create a state of consciousness that is incompatible with the peaceful, harmonious energy of gratitude. These negative emotions act as static in your consciousness, distorting the clear signal of your grateful imagination and impeding its reception by your creative subconscious. Furthermore, unforgiveness keeps you bound to the past, while manifestation requires a consciousness that is free to create the future. As long as you remain emotionally attached to past injuries or disappointments, you cannot fully embrace the new state of consciousness necessary for the fulfillment of your desires. Gratitude, however, naturally dissolves unforgiveness. For when you truly understand that all experiences, even painful ones, have contributed to your growth and evolution, you can begin to feel genuine thankfulness for them. And in this thankfulness, forgiveness occurs naturally, without effort or struggle. I recommend this practice. Make a list of all individuals toward whom you feel any negative emotion, resentment, anger, jealousy, disappointment. Then, for each person, write down at least 3 reasons to be grateful for them or for your interaction with them. Focus on the lessons you have learned, the strengths you have developed, the understandings you have gained through your relationship with them. As you contemplate these reasons for gratitude, you will find the negative emotions beginning to dissolve, replaced by a sense of peace and even appreciation. This clearing of emotional blocks creates a consciousness that is far more conducive to successful manifestation through gratitude. The science of gratitude. While I have primarily approached this subject from a spiritual perspective, I would be remiss not to mention that modern science is now confirming what spiritual teachers have known for millennia. Gratitude has profound effects on both mind and body. Research has shown that the regular practice of gratitude can lower stress hormones, reduce inflammation, improve heart health, enhance sleep quality, and strengthen the immune system. These physiological benefits are accompanied by psychological improvements, including increased happiness, reduced depression, greater resilience in the face of challenges, and enhanced overall life satisfaction. Why does gratitude have such powerful effects? Because your body responds not to external circumstances, but to your perception and interpretation of those circumstances. When you maintain a state of gratitude, you trigger a cascade of beneficial neurochemical changes that affect every cell and system in your body. Furthermore, these physiological and psychological changes create an internal environment that is highly conducive to manifestation. When your body is in a state of relaxed alertness rather than stressed vigilance, when your mind is clear and focused rather than anxious and scattered, your creative faculties function at their optimal level. Your intuition becomes sharper, your inspiration more frequent, your access to innovative solutions more immediate. Thus, gratitude creates a positive feedback loop that enhances not only your manifestation abilities, but also your overall health and well-being. It is truly a master key to a life of abundance on all levels. Teaching others the power of gratitude? As you begin to experience the manifestation power of gratitude in your own life, you may feel inspired to share this principle with others. This is a natural impulse, for when we discover a truth that transforms us, we wish to offer this same transformation to those we care about. However, I caution you to teach primarily through example rather than through persuasion. Let others witness the changes in your life, the increasing abundance, the greater peace, the more harmonious relationships, and they will naturally inquire about the source of these changes. Then, when they ask, you can share the principle of grateful manifestation with those who are ready to receive it. Remember that each individual must discover this truth in their own time and apply it in their own way. Some will embrace it immediately. Others will require numerous exposures before it resonates with them. Honor each person's journey and trust in the perfect unfoldment of their spiritual awakening. When you do share this principle, emphasize its experiential nature. Encourage others not simply to understand it intellectually, but to apply it practically, to test it in the laboratory of their own consciousness. For this is not a truth that can be proven through argument. It must be demonstrated through experience. And finally, as you teach others, remember that you are simultaneously deepening your own understanding and application of the principle. For in explaining it to others, you clarify it for yourself. In addressing their questions and concerns, you resolve your own. In witnessing their successes, you strengthen your own faith in the unfailing operation of this spiritual law. Living in the consciousness of gratitude, we are approaching the conclusion of our discussion. But before we end, I wish to share a vision of what is possible when gratitude becomes not merely a technique you apply occasionally, but a state of consciousness in which you dwell continuously. Imagine awakening each morning with a heart full of thankfulness for the new day, for the breath in your lungs, for the unlimited possibilities that stretch before you. Imagine moving through your daily activities in a state of appreciation for everything you encounter: the smile of a stranger, the beauty of the sky, the functionality of your body, the opportunity to be of service. Imagine facing challenges with gratitude for the growth they offer, the strengths they develop, the greater good they ultimately reveal. Imagine relating to others with thankfulness for their presence in your life, for the unique qualities they express, for the opportunities for love and connection they provide. Imagine ending each day with a profound sense of gratitude for all that has occurred, for all that you have experienced, for all that you have given and received. And imagine drifting into sleep filled with thankfulness for the manifestations that are even now moving toward you through the creative action of your grateful consciousness. This is the consciousness of gratitude, a perpetual state of thankfulness that transforms every aspect of your experience. In this consciousness, manifestation is no longer a sporadic event, but a continuous flow. Your desires are fulfilled not occasionally but consistently, not partially but completely, not after long delay, but with divine perfect timing. This consciousness is available to you now. It requires no special talents, no esoteric knowledge, no external conditions. It requires only your decision to enter it, to claim it as your natural state, to live from it in all circumstances and at all times. Conclusion: the gratitude revolution. My dear friends, we stand at the threshold of what might be called a gratitude revolution, a fundamental shift in how we relate to life, to ourselves, and to the creative process. This revolution begins within each individual consciousness and gradually extends to transform our collective experience. As more and more people discover and apply the principle of manifestation through gratitude, we will witness not only individual transformations, but also societal ones. For a society composed of grateful individuals is a society characterized by abundance, rather than scarcity, by cooperation rather than competition, by harmony rather than conflict. I invite you to be part of this revolution. Begin today to practice the grateful imagination I have described. Identify a desire that is currently unfulfilled in your life. Create a scene that implies its fulfillment, and enter fully into the feeling of gratitude for its completion. Persist in this practice daily. carrying the feeling of thankfulness with you throughout your activities. At the same time, cultivate gratitude for what is already manifest in your life. Train yourself to perceive the abundant good that surrounds you, to appreciate the countless blessings you already enjoy, to recognize the infinite potential that dwells within you. As you do, you will discover what I and many others have discovered, that gratitude is indeed the master key to manifestation, that thankfulness before the fact is the surest path to the fulfillment of your desires, that living in the consciousness of appreciation creates a life of endless abundance and joy. The choice is yours. You can continue to live as most people live, reacting to circumstances, hoping for change, waiting for conditions to improve. Or you can embrace the truth I have shared with you tonight and begin immediately to create the life you desire through the transformative power of gratitude. I know which choice you will make, for the very fact that you have heard these words indicates your readiness to apply them. Trust this readiness. Trust the principle I have shared. Trust the process of manifestation through gratitude. And above all, trust the divine creative power that dwells within you, waiting only for your grateful direction to manifest your every desire. Thank you, and may your life be filled with the abundance that grateful manifestation inevitably brings. You are the operant power in your world. You and you alone are the architect of your life experiences. The world you see around you, with all its joys and sorrows, triumphs and challenges, is but an outward reflection of your inner state of consciousness. It is a mirror, faithfully reflecting back to you the sum total of your beliefs, assumptions, and imaginal acts. Now you might ask, but Neville, how can this be? Surely the world exists independently of my thoughts and feelings. To this I say, the world as you perceive it exists nowhere but in your consciousness. Your senses may tell you otherwise, may insist on the solidity and unchangeable nature of your circumstances, but I tell you this is an illusion, a shadow play cast by the light of your own imagination. Consider for a moment, when you dream at night, do you not experience a world that feels every bit as real as your waking life? Do you not interact with people, places, and situations that seem to exist independently of your will? And yet, upon waking, you recognize that entire world was created within your own mind. So too is it with what you call your waking reality. The great secret then is this: your imagination is the very workshop in which you forge your life experiences. Every event, every circumstance, every person in your life is there because you have imagined them into being, whether consciously or unconsciously. This is the true meaning of the biblical phrase, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." But let us delve deeper into this truth. When we speak of focusing on yourself and your dreams, we are not talking about mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. No, we are speaking of a far more potent and transformative practice, the art of living from the end. To live from the end means to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It means to enter in your imagination into the state of consciousness you would occupy if your desire were already a present fact. This is not about visualizing a future event, but about experiencing here and now the reality of your fulfilled desire. Let me give you an example to illustrate this principle. Suppose you desire financial abundance. The common approach would be to focus on the process of acquiring wealth, working harder, saving more, investing wisely. But this approach keeps you rooted in the consciousness of lack, of not yet having what you desire. Instead, I urge you to ask yourself, how would I feel if I motioned financially abundant? What would my inner conversations be like? How would I carry myself? What thoughts would occupy my mind throughout the day? Then, having identified these feelings and states of mind, your task is to assume them now in your present reality. You see, my dear friends, the secret is not to think about your desire, but to think from the state of its fulfillment. This is the true meaning of prayer, not beseeching an external deity for favors, but aligning your consciousness with the reality you wish to experience. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, this sounds like self-deception. How can I feel wealthy when my bank account tells me otherwise? To this I say, your senses show you only the effects, never the causes of your reality. By persisting in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are operating on the causal level of existence. And the outer world must, by law, reorganize itself to match your new inner state. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. What you are conscious of being, you are. And what you are, you create. This is the true meaning of the biblical injunction to be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. By renewing your mind, that is, by consistently assuming the state of consciousness of your wish fulfilled, you transform your entire world. But let us be clear, this is not about escaping reality or denying your present circumstances. It is about understanding the true nature of reality as a malleable, responsive substance that conforms to your dominant mental states. It is about recognizing your power as a creative being and wielding that power consciously and deliberately. Now you might ask, how do I begin this practice of living from the end? How do I focus on myself and my dreams in this way? The answer lies in the use of your imagination, that divine gift that sets you apart as a creative being in this universe. Each night, as you lay your head upon your pillow, I want you to enter a state of relaxation. Let the cares and concerns of your day fall away. Then with your inner eye, construct a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and as real as you possibly can. Engage all your senses in this imaginal act. If your desire is for a loving relationship, feel the warmth of your beloved's embrace. Hear their voice whispering words of affection. Smell their familiar scent. Make the scene as real and as natural as any memory of a natural event. If your dream is of professional success, see yourself in your ideal work environment. Feel the satisfaction of a job well done. Hear the congratulations of your colleagues. Experience the pride and fulfillment of living your purpose. Whatever your desire may be, construct a scene that implies its fulfillment, then enter into that scene. Do not watch it as a spectator, but participate in it fully. Be there in your imagination, experiencing the joy and satisfaction of your wish fulfilled. As you fall asleep, carry this feeling with you. Let it be the last thing in your consciousness as you drift off to slumber. For in sleep, when your conscious mind is at rest, these impressions sink deep into your subconscious, the fertile soil from which all your future experiences will grow. But do not limit this practice to your nighttime reveries. Throughout your day, whenever you have a quiet moment, return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let it color your mood, influence your posture, inform your inner conversations. Remember, my friends, your inner conversations are incredibly powerful. They are the backdrop against which your life unfolds. Most people carry on these inner dialogues unconsciously, rehashing past hurts or worrying about future problems. But you, armed with this knowledge, can consciously direct your inner talking to align with your desires. If you desire health, do not engage in inner conversations about illness or weakness. Instead, hear yourself saying, I am vibrantly healthy and full of energy. If you seek financial abundance, let your inner abundance declare, I am abundantly provided for in every way. These inner conversations, persistently maintained, will transform your world. For whatever you consent to in your mind, whatever you feel to be true, must outpicture itself in your reality. This is the law of your being, as unalterable as any law of physics. Now some of you may be wondering, but what about action? Surely we must do something in the outer world to realize our dreams. To this I say, inspired action will flow naturally from your assumed state. When you truly live in the end, when you fully embody the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, You will find yourself naturally and effortlessly taking the steps that lead to its manifestation. This is the meaning of the biblical phrase, the vision has its own appointed hour, it ripens, it will flower. If it be long, then wait, for it is sure, and it will not be late. Your only task is to hold fast to the vision, to persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The how, the when, and the where of its manifestation are not your concern. Trust in the perfect unfolding of your desire, guided by a wisdom far greater than your own. Let me share with you a personal experience to illustrate this principle. Many years ago, when I first arrived in New York City, I had the burning desire to speak at Town Hall. Now, at that time, I was unknown, with no connections and no apparent means of realizing this dream. But instead of focusing on these seeming obstacles, I chose to live from the end. Each night, as I fell asleep, I would imagine myself standing on the stage at Town Hall. I felt the solid wood beneath my feet. I saw the sea of faces before me, heard the rustle of the audience, felt the satisfaction of sharing my message with eager listeners. I lived in this state, feeling it to be true, despite all evidence to the contrary in my waking hours. And then, my friends, the outer world began to conform to this inner conviction. Within a matter of weeks, through a series of events that seemed entirely accidental, I found myself invited to speak at Town Hall. The very scene one had enacted in my imagination came to pass in the outer world, down to the smallest detail. This, my dear friends, is the power that lies within you. This is the creative force of your own wonderful human imagination. It is not limited by your past experiences, your current circumstances, or the opinions of others. It is bound only by your capacity to believe in the reality of your imaginal acts. Now, let us address a common concern that arises when people first encounter these teachings. Many worry that by focusing on themselves and their own desires, they are being selfish or neglecting their duties to others. Nothing could be further from the truth. You see, my friends, you cannot give what you do not have. By focusing on your own growth, your own dreams, your own expansion, you are increasing your capacity to be of service to others. As you transform your own consciousness, you elevate the consciousness of all those around you. Remember the words of the Master, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." The kingdom of God is not a place in space or time, but a state of consciousness. It is the state of knowing yourself to be one with the creative power of the universe. When you seek this state first, when you prioritize the alignment of your consciousness with your desires, everything else falls naturally into place. Moreover, as you begin to experience the fruits of this practice in your own life, you become a living testament to the power of imagination. Your very being becomes an inspiration to others, showing them what is possible when one takes control of their inner world. But let me caution you, this work requires persistence and faith. You may not see immediate results in your outer world. The seed you plant in your imagination needs time to germinate and grow. During this period, you may face doubts, both from within yourself and from others. This is where the real test of your faith comes in. Can you persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled even when your senses deny it? Can you remain loyal to your vision, even when the outer world seems to contradict it? This is the mark of a true master of faith. Remember the biblical story of Abraham, who was promised countless descendants when he was old and childless. Against all odds, against all evidence of his senses, he persisted in his faith. He dared to believe in the reality of that which was not yet manifest. And in due time, his faith was rewarded. So too must you persist in your imaginal acts, in your assumption of the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Do not waver, do not doubt, do not give in to the temptation to judge by appearances. Hold fast to your vision, knowing that what you are conscious of being, you must become. Now let us delve deeper into the mechanics of this practice. When you focus on yourself and your dreams in the way I am describing, you are engaging in a profound act of self-love and self-respect. You are declaring to the universe, and more importantly to your own subconscious mind, that you are worthy of your desires. This act of self-affirmation is crucial. Many people sabotage their own success because deep down, they do not believe they deserve it. They may go through the motions of pursuing their dreams, but their inner conviction tells a different story. By consistently assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind. You are overwriting old patterns of lack, limitation, and unworthiness with new patterns of abundance, possibility, and deservingness. This is why it's so important to make your imaginal acts as vivid and as real as possible. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the outer world. By presenting it with vivid, persistent images of your desired reality, you are training it to accept this new reality as fact. And once your subconscious accepts something as fact, it works tirelessly to bring it into manifestation. It influences your perceptions, your decisions, your actions, all to align with this new accepted reality. This is the power of your subconscious mind. And by learning to work with it rather than against it, you unlock truly limitless potential. But remember, my friends, this is not about forcing or straining. The kingdom of heaven is not taken by violence. Your imaginal acts should be playful, joyful, natural. They should feel like slipping into a comfortable, familiar state rather than an arduous exercise of will. Think of a child at play, fully immersed in their imaginary world. They do not doubt the reality of their imaginings. They do not strain to believe. They simply are what they imagine themselves to be, fully and without reservation. This is the state you must cultivate in your own imaginal work. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of action in this process. Surely you might think I can't just sit around imagining all day. Don't I need to do something to make my dreams a reality? To this I say, right action will flow naturally from your assumed state. When you truly live in the end, when you fully embody the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally inspired to take the steps that lead to its manifestation. These actions will not feel like hard work or struggle. They will feel natural efforts, almost inevitable. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, saying the right words, making the right decisions, all as a natural outflow of your assumed state. This is the true meaning of the phrase, the signs follow. They do not precede. The outer actions are not the cause of your success, but the effect of your inner transformation. They are the shadow cast by the light of your imagination. Let me give you another example from my own life to illustrate this principle. When I first began giving lectures on these truths, I had a deep desire to reach a wider audience. I imagined myself speaking to large crowds, sharing these teachings with people from all walks of life. Now, I did not go out and frantically advertise or promote myself. I did not strain or struggle to make this happen. Instead, I lived from the end. In my imagination, I saw myself standing before packed auditoriums. I felt the joy of sharing these truths with eager listeners. I experienced the satisfaction of knowing my message was reaching and transforming lives. And then, my friends, the outer world began to conform to this inner conviction. Opportunities began to present themselves. Invitations to speak at larger venues started to come in. People began to spread the word about my lectures. All of this happened naturally, effortlessly, as a result of my inner work. This is the power that lies within you, my dear friends. This is the creative force of your own wonderful human imagination. It is not limited by your past experiences, your current circumstances, or the opinions of others. It is bound only by your capacity to believe in the reality of your imaginal acts. Now let us address another common concern that arises when people first encounter these teachings. Many worry about the ethical implications of this practice. They ask if I can imagine anything into being. What's to stop me from using this power for selfish or harmful ends? To this, I say, the very nature of this practice precludes its misuse. For when you truly enter into the state of your wish fulfilled, when you fully embody the consciousness of your desire, you are aligning yourself with the highest good. You see, my friends, at the deepest level of our being, we all desire the same things: love, joy, peace, fulfillment. When you imagine from this place of your highest self, you naturally align with these universal desires. Your imaginings become not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of all. Moreover, as you practice this art of imagining, you will find your desires naturally refining themselves. What once seemed important may fall away as you connect more deeply with your true self. Your imaginings will become purer, more aligned with your highest good and the highest good of all. This is the true meaning of the phrase, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." As you align your consciousness with your highest self, with the creative power of the universe, everything else falls naturally into place. Now, my friends, I want to address a question that often arises when I share these teachings. People ask, "But Neville, what about the suffering in the world? What about those who are oppressed, impoverished, or ill? Are you saying they have imagined this for themselves?" This is a profound question, and it deserves a thoughtful answer. First, let me be clear, this teaching is not about blame or judgment. It is about empowerment. It is about recognizing the creative power that lies within each of us and learning to use it consciously. You see, most people are not aware of the power of their imagination. They do not realize that their inner assumptions and beliefs are shaping their outer reality. They are imagining unconsciously, often focusing on what they fear or what they lack, rather than on what they desire. Moreover, we are all influenced by the collective consciousness of our society, our culture, our time. Many of the limitations and sufferings we experience are the result of collectively held beliefs and assumptions. But here's the wonderful truth. Just as we have imagined these conditions into being, we can imagine something different. We can change our individual consciousness, and in doing so, contribute to changing the collective consciousness. This is the true meaning of being the change you wish to see in the world. By focusing on yourself, by imagining a better reality for yourself, you are not being selfish. You are contributing to the elevation of all humanity. You are adding your light to the sum of light. Remember, my friends, consciousness is the only reality. The world you see around you is a reflection of consciousness, both individual and collective. By changing your consciousness, by persistently imagining a better reality, you are literally changing the world. This work of imagination is not separate from practical action in the world. Rather, it informs and inspires that action. When you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally taking the steps that lead to its manifestation. You will be guided by an inner wisdom that far surpasses mere intellect. So I urge you, my dear friends, to take up this practice with all seriousness. Make it the central focus of your life. Every night as you fall asleep, and every morning as you wake, enter into the state of your wish fulfilled. Feel it, live it, believe in it with all your heart. Throughout your day, whenever you have a quiet moment, return to this state. Let it inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. Let it become the new normal for you. For what you persist in imagining, you must eventually experience. Remember, the time it takes for your imaginal act to become your physical reality is directly proportionate to the naturalness of the state. The more natural it feels to you, the more quickly it will manifest. This is why persistence is key. You are forming new neural pathways, new patterns of thought and feeling. In closing, I want to remind you of this fundamental truth. You are the operant power in your world. Your consciousness is the creative force that shapes your reality. By focusing on yourself and your dreams, by living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you are stepping into your true power as a creative being. Go forth then and create boldly. Imagine lovingly. Live fully in the consciousness of your fulfilled desires. For in doing so, you are not only transforming your own life, but contributing to the transformation of all humanity. You are fulfilling your divine purpose as a co-creator in this magnificent universe. Thank you, and may your imagination guide you to the fulfillment of all your dreams. This will find you when you need it most. Ponder these words, for they contain within them the very essence of your being, the key to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within you. You see, everything in your world, every circumstance, every encounter, every fleeting thought is but a reflection of your own consciousness. And it is this consciousness, this awareness of being, that is the true source of all that you experience. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. You, my dear listener, are not merely a physical body moving through space and time. You are in essence pure consciousness, the very fabric of reality itself. And it is through this consciousness that you shape and mold your entire world. Every desire, every fear, every belief you hold dear becomes the blueprint for your life's experiences. Now you may ask, but Neville, how can this be? How can my thoughts and feelings create my reality? And to this I say, open your mind to the greatest secret of all, the law of assumption. This law, as immutable as gravity itself, states that whatever state you assume to be true must be made manifest in your world. It is not hope, not mere positive thinking, but a deep, unshakable knowing that brings your desires into being. Consider for a moment the times in your life when you've needed something most. Perhaps it was guidance, perhaps it was comfort, or perhaps it was a sudden flash of inspiration. Did you not find in those moments of greatest need that the very thing you required seemed to appear as if by magic? This, my friends, is no coincidence. It is the law of assumption at work, bringing to you exactly what you need, precisely when you need it most. But let us not mistake this for some external force, some capricious universe doling out favors. No, the power lies entirely within you. You are the operant power, the God of your universe, shaping reality through the power of your imagination. When you fully grasp this truth, when you internalize it to the very core of your being, you will understand that nothing is impossible to you. Imagine, if you will, a world where every desire of your heart is fulfilled, where every dream you've ever dared to dream becomes your living reality. This world, my friends, is not some far-off utopia. It is the very world you inhabit right now, waiting to be molded by the power of your assumption. For when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you live from the end as though your desire were already a fact, you set in motion forces beyond your comprehension, aligning the entire universe to bring about your desired state. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I've tried positive thinking before. I've visualized, I've affirmed, and still my desires elude me. To this I say, you have not yet fully embraced the law of assumption. For it is not enough to merely think positively or to visualize half-heartedly. You must feel it, live it, breathe it. You must assume the state of your wish fulfilled with such conviction that to experience anything else becomes an impossibility. Let me share with you a technique, a method so simple yet so profound that it has the power to revolutionize your entire existence. It is the technique of living from the end. In the quiet of your mind, in that still space between sleeping and waking, create a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. See it, feel it, taste it, touch it. Make it so real, so vivid that for a moment you phosphorescent your present circumstances entirely And in that moment of forgetting, you plant the seed of your new reality. But remember, my dear friends, this is not a one-time exercise. It is a way of life, a constant state of being. You must persist in your assumption, even when the outside world seems to contradict it. For the outside world is but a shadow, a reflection of past assumptions. Your true power lies in the present moment, in your ability to choose, right now, the state you wish to occupy. Consider the biblical phrase, before they call, I will answer. This is not the proclamation of some external deity, but a profound statement about the nature of consciousness itself. Your desires, your needs are already fulfilled in the realm of infinite possibility. It is your task, through the power of assumption, to bring them into your three-dimensional reality. Now you may wonder, how long must I persist? When will I see the fruits of my assumption? And to this I say, the time it takes for your assumption to become your physical reality is directly proportional to the naturalness of your assumption. When your desired state feels as natural to you as breathing, when you can no longer conceive of any other reality, then will it manifest with a speed that will astonish you. But do not be discouraged if at first you stumble, if doubt creeps in, if the old man reasserts itself. This is natural, for you are engaging in a radical transformation of consciousness. You are literally rebirthing yourself, shedding old limitations and embracing your divine nature. Persistence is key. Each time you catch yourself stepping into old patterns of thought, gently but firmly redirect your attention to the state of your wish fulfilled. Remember, my friends, that your imagination is not bound by the so-called facts of your current reality. Your imagination transcends time and space, operating in a realm where all things are possible. When you imagine lovingly on behalf of another, when you see them as they wish to be seen, you are performing the highest act of creation. For in truth, there is no other. All is you pushed out. All is a reflection of your own magnificent consciousness. Let us now turn our attention to the concept of time, for it plays a crucial role in understanding how this message finds you when you need it most. Time, as you experience it in your day-to-day life, is but an illusion, a construct of the human mind. In the realm of pure consciousness, all moments exist simultaneously. The past, present, and future are one eternal now. This understanding is crucial, for it means that the moment of your greatest need and the moment of its fulfillment are one and the same. When you fully grasp this truth, you will see that there is no waiting, no striving, no desperate seeking. There is only the calm assurance that all is well, all is as it should be, all is unfolding in divine perfection. Consider the times in your life when a book has fallen open to exactly the page you needed to read, or when a chance encounter provided the very guidance you were seeking. These are not random occurrences, but perfect demonstrations of the law of assumption at work. You drew these experiences to you through your state of consciousness, through your awareness of need, and your openness to receive. Now, let us delve deeper into the mechanics of manifestation, for understanding this process will empower you to consciously create the life you desire. Every experience in your life, every person you encounter, every circumstance you find yourself in is a reflection of your dominant state of consciousness. Your world is quite literally molded by your beliefs, expectations, and assumptions. This is why two people can experience the same external event in radically different ways. One sees opportunity where another sees obstacle. One finds joy where another finds despair. The difference lies not in the event itself, but in the consciousness through which it is perceived. Understanding this, you begin to see the immense power you hold. No longer are you a victim of circumstance, buffeted about by forces beyond your control. You are the author of your life story, the director of your grand play. And with this power comes great responsibility, the responsibility to consciously choose the state you occupy, to carefully curate the assumptions you hold. But how, you may ask, does one go about changing deeply ingrained patterns of thought and belief? The answer lies in the art of revision. Each night, before you sleep, review the events of your day. But do not simply replay them as they occurred. Instead, revise them. See them unfolding as you would have wished them to unfold. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of fulfillment that comes with this revised version of events. This practice serves two purposes. First, it trains your mind to focus on the desired state rather than the current reality. Second, and more profoundly, it actually rewrites your past. For remember, time is an illusion. The past exists only in your memory, and your memory can be altered through the power of imagination. As you consistently practice revision, you will find that your entire perception of life begins to shift. You will naturally gravitate towards more positive states of being, attracting experiences that align with your revised assumptions. This is how you actively participate in the creation of your reality, how you ensure that what you need most always finds you at the perfect moment. Now, let us address a question that often arises when discussing these concepts. What about other people? Can I use the law of assumption to change their behavior or circumstances? The answer, my friends, is both yes and no. Yes, in the sense that all is you pushed out. All is a reflection of your consciousness. And no, in the sense that attempting to manipulate others for personal gain is a misuse of this divine law. Instead, I urge you to see others through the eyes of love, to imagine lovingly on their behalf. See them as they wish to be seen, as their highest, most actualized selves. In doing so, you not only elevate them, but you elevate yourself. For remember, there is no other. In blessing others, you bless yourself. In seeing the divine in others, you recognize the divine within you. This brings us to another crucial point, the importance of self-love and self-acceptance. Many of you struggle with feelings of unworthiness, with the belief that you are somehow not deserving of your heart's desires. But I say to you with all the conviction of my being that you are worthy beyond measure. You are a divine being, a perfect expression of the infinite Creator, worthy of all the love, abundance, and joy that life has to offer. If you find yourself struggling with self-love, begin by assuming the state of one who is deeply loved and cherished. Feel it, live it, breathe it. As you persist in this assumption, you will find your entire world transforming to reflect this new self-concept. For the outside world can only ever show you what you hold to be true about yourself. Now let us turn our attention to the concept of detachment, for it is crucial in understanding how to navigate the path of manifestation. Many of you, in your eagerness to see your desires fulfilled, cling tightly to the outcome, anxiously awaiting signs of its manifestation. But this very anxiety, this attachment to results, creates resistance that slows the process of manifestation. True mastery lies in detachment, in the ability to plant the seed of your desire and then let it grow naturally, without constantly digging it up to check its progress. This detachment comes from a place of deep trust, trust in the law, trust in the process, and most importantly, trust in yourself as the operant power in your universe. When you truly understand that your desire is already fulfilled in the realm of infinite possibility, that it is making this you through the bridge of incidents, if you can relax into a state of calm expectancy. You need not worry about the how or the when. Your only task is to maintain the assumption of your wish fulfilled, to live each day from the state of the person who already has what they desire. This state of relaxed expectancy, of knowing without anxious striving, is the fertile soil in which your desires take root and flourish. It is in this state that you become most receptive to inspiration, to divine guidance, to those seemingly miraculous coincidences that lead you effortlessly towards the fulfillment of your desires. Remember, my dear friends, that the universe is infinitely abundant. There is no lack, no limitation, except that which you impose upon yourself through your beliefs and assumptions. When you truly internalize this truth, where you live from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, you open yourself to receive blessings beyond your wildest dreams. This abundance mindset extends far beyond material possessions. It encompasses love, joy, peace, creativity, all the qualities that make life rich and fulfilling. As you assume the state of one who is abundantly blessed in all areas of life, you will find that opportunities and resources flow to you effortlessly, often in ways you could never have anticipated. Now let us address a common misconception. The idea that assuming your desire fulfilled means sitting back passively and waiting for it to appear. Nothing could be further from the truth. The law of assumption is not about inaction, but inspired action. When you truly assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you naturally begin to think, feel, and act in alignment with that state. You may find yourself suddenly inspired to take a certain course of action, to reach out to a particular project, to explore a new opportunity. These inspired actions flow naturally from your assumed state, guiding you effortlessly towards the manifestation of your desire. The key is to remain open and receptive, to trust your intuition, and to act on these divine impulses when they arise. Remember, every desire that arises within you carries within it the seed of its own fulfillment. The very fact that you can conceive of a desire means that you have the capacity to bring it into manifestation. Your task is not to make it happen through force of will, but to align your consciousness with the fulfillment of that desire, to become in imagination the person who already has what you seek. As you go about your daily life, practicing the law of assumption, you will begin to notice a profound shift in your perception of reality. The world around you will seem more vibrant, more alive with possibility. Synchronicities will abound, doors will open where before there were only walls. This is the natural result of aligning your consciousness with the infinite creative power of the universe. But remember, my friends, that this journey of conscious creation is not about accumulating possessions or achieving worldly success. While these things may come as a natural byproduct of your expanded consciousness, the true goal is the realization of your divine nature, the full expression of your infinite potential. As you master the art of living from the end, of assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you will find that your desires themselves begin to evolve. No longer will you be driven by lack or fear, but by a deep desire to express your unique gifts, to contribute to the world in meaningful ways, to experience the fullness of life in all its magnificent variety. This evolution of desire is a natural part of your spiritual growth. As you align more fully with your true nature, as you embrace your role as a conscious creator, you will find yourself drawn to experiences and pursuits that bring you into greater harmony with the divine flow of life. Now let us address a question that often arises as one begins to consciously apply the law of assumption. What about setbacks and challenges? How do I maintain my assumption in the face of apparent failure or disappointment? This, my friends, is where your faith is truly tested, where the rubber meets the road in your journey of conscious creation. Remember that what appears to be a setback or failure is often a necessary part of the bridge of incidents leading to the fulfillment of your desire. The universe always moves in the most efficient way possible to bring about your assumed state. What may seem like a detour or delay from your limited human perspective may in fact be the perfect unfolding of events to lead you to your desired outcome. In these moments of apparent setback, it is crucial to redouble your efforts in maintaining your assumption. Do not be swayed by appearances, for they are but shadows of past beliefs. Instead, stand firm in your conviction, knowing that your desired state is already a reality in the realm of infinite possibility, making it your three-dimensional experience. Use these moments as opportunities to strengthen your faith, to deepen your understanding of the law. For it is often in our darkest moments that our greatest breakthroughs occur, when we are forced to dig deep and find reserves of faith and resilience we never knew we possessed. Remember, too, that the law of assumption operates with mathematical precision. There is no room for doubt or uncertainty in its operation. When you assume a state, the entire universe conspires to bring it into manifestation. Your only task is to persist in that assumption, to live from that state with unwavering faith, regardless of external circumstances. As you continue on this journey of conscious creation, you will find that your entire relationship with life begins to shift. No longer will you see yourself as a small, powerless being at the mercy of external forces. Instead, you will recognize yourself as the divine creator of your reality, shaping your world through the power of your consciousness. This shift in perspective brings with it a profound sense of peace and empowerment. For when you truly understand that you are the author of your life story, that you have the power to rewrite any aspect of your experience at any moment, fear and anxiety naturally fall away. In that place arises a deep sense of trust in the perfection of life's unfolding. But with this power comes great responsibility. As you become more adept at consciously creating your reality, you must also become more mindful of the states you occupy, the assumptions you hold. For remember, the law is impartial. It will bring into manifestation whatever state you assume, whether positive or negative. This is why it is crucial to cultivate a practice of self-awareness, to become the vigilant observer of your own thoughts and feelings. Catch yourself when you slip into negative states, when you entertain doubts or fears. Gently but firmly redirect your attention to the state of your wish fulfilled. With practice, this redirection becomes second nature, a natural reflex of your awakened consciousness. As you master this art of conscious living, you will find that your life becomes a joyous adventure, a grand exploration of the infinite possibilities that exist within you. Every day becomes an opportunity to experience new aspects of your divine nature, to express more fully the unique gifts you have to offer the world. Let us begin this journey of self-discovery and empowerment. For in these principles lies the key to your freedom, your peace, and your ultimate power. Principle 1, the power of consciousness. The first and most fundamental principle we must grasp is that consciousness is the only reality. Everything you perceive, everything you experience, every circumstance in your life is but an outpicturing of your consciousness. The world you see is a mirror, reflecting back to you your own mental states, your own assumptions about reality. Many of you may find this concept challenging to accept at first. You may argue, but Neville, I see a solid world around me. I feel it, I interact with it. Surely this is reality. To this I say, what you perceive as solid and real is nothing more than a shadow cast by the light of your conscience. Consider for a moment your dreams. When you're in a dream, does it not feel real? Do you not interact with people, touch objects, experience emotions? Yet when you awaken, you realize it was all a creation of your mind. I tell you now, what you call your waking life is no different. It is a dream, a grand collective dream, but a dream nonetheless. Once you truly grasp this principle, once you internalize it and live from it, you will understand that nothing can affect you unless you allow it to affect your consciousness. For you are not a powerless observer of reality, but the very creator of it. This understanding is the foundation upon which all else is built. It is the bedrock of your invincibility, the source of your power. For if consciousness is the only reality, and you are the master of your consciousness, then you are the master of your reality. But how do we wield this power? How do we shape our consciousness to create the reality we desire? This leads us seamlessly into our second principle. Principle 2, the law of assumption. The law of assumption states that if you assume a state to be true and persist in that assumption, it must harden into fact. This law is the cornerstone of creation, the very mechanism by which you shape your reality. When you assume a state, you are essentially declaring to the universe, this is who I am. This is what is true for me. And the universe, being nothing more than an outpicturing of your consciousness, has no choice but to conform to your assumption. But remember, my dear friends, this law works both ways. If you persistently assume limitation, lack, or fear, these two will harden into fact. This is why so many people find themselves trapped in cycles of negativity and misfortune. They are unwittingly assuming these states into existence. The key then is to consciously choose your assumptions. Assume states of abundance, of joy, of success, of love. Persist in these assumptions regardless of any seeming contradictions in your external reality. For remember, the external is but a shadow of your past assumptions. As you change your assumptions, the shadow must change to match the new shape of your consciousness. This principle of assumption is your shield against the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. For how can external circumstances affect you when you know that you are the very author of those circumstances? But assumption alone is not enough. To truly harness the power of this principle, we must understand the role of feeling, which brings us to our third principle. Principle 3, the importance of feeling. Now, as we delve deeper into these principles, we come to a crucial understanding. It is not enough to merely think about your desired state. You must feel it. You must embody it with every fiber of your being. Feeling is the secret, my dear listeners. It is the bridge between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, between your current reality and your desired reality. When you can genuinely feel the reality of your desire, when you can live in the emotion of your wish fulfilled, you activate a power beyond your wildest imagination. Think for a moment of a time when you were deeply in love. Recall the feeling, the emotion of it. How did it color your world? How did it affect your perceptions, your actions, your very being? This is the power of feeling. It transforms you from the inside out. In the same way, when you can feel the reality of desire, when you can live in the emotion of your wish fulfilled, you transform your entire being. You begin to think, act, and perceive in alignment with your desired reality. And as you do so, the external world has no choice but to reflect this new state back to you. This principle of feeling is your armor against the assaults of doubt and fear. For when you are filled with the feeling of your desire fulfilled, how can doubt find a foothold? How can fear take root? They simply cannot penetrate the radiant energy of your assumed state. But how do we generate these feelings? How do we create such vivid, transformative emotions? This brings us to our fourth principle, a principle that unlocks the full creative power of your mind. Principle 4. The power of imagination. As we progress in our understanding, we come to the fourth principle, the power of imagination. My dear friends, your imagination is not some idle fantasy factory. It is the very workshop of creation. It is the place where all things, all experiences, all states of being are first conceived before they are brought forth into physical reality. Einstein once said, imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited to all we now know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world, and all there ever will be to know and understand. Your imagination is the gateway to infinite possibilities. It is the realm where you can try on new states of being, where you can explore new realities, where you can shape your world according to your deepest desires. When you imagine, you are not merely daydreaming. You are engaging in the most profound act of creation. For remember, consciousness is the only reality, and your imagination is the tool by which you shape your consciousness. Imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. See yourself living the life you desire. Feel the emotions associated with your wish fulfilled. Do this vividly, do this often, and do this with the firm conviction that what you are imagining is not some far-off possibility, but a present reality. This principle of imagination is your sword against the limitations of your current circumstances. For how can your current reality constrain you when you can, at any moment, step into a new reality in your imagination? But what of the past? What of the memories and experiences that seem to contradict our desired state? This brings us to our fifth principle, a principle that grants you power over time itself. Principle 5, the art of revision. Now we come to a principle that many find particularly powerful, the art of revision. This principle teaches us that we can go back into our past and change it. Not in a physical sense, of course, but in our consciousness, which, as we've established, is the only reality. You might ask, but Neville, how can we change the past? Isn't it fixed? To this I say, the past only exists in your memory. And memory is not fixed. It is fluid, constantly being rewritten by your present state of consciousness. When you revise a past event, you are not denying that it happened. Rather, you are choosing to remember it differently. You are rewriting the story in a way that serves your present and future. For example, if you had an argument with a loved one, instead of replaying the argument over and over in your mind, reinforcing the negative emotions associated with it, you can revise it. Imagine the conversation going differently. See yourself and the other person coming to a loving understanding. Feel the warmth and connection between you. As you do this, you are not merely engaging in wishful thinking. You are actually reshaping your consciousness. And as your consciousness changes, your present reality must change to reflect it. This principle of revision is your time machine. It allows you to go back and plant seeds of positivity in your past, seeds that will bear fruit in your present and future. Or how can past events affect you when you have the power to revise them at will? But as we reshape our past and imagine our future, we must be careful not to fall into the trap of attachment. This brings us to our sixth principle, a principle that teaches us the power of letting go. Principle 6, the law of detachment. As we delve deeper into these principles, we come to one that many find challenging, the law of detachment. This law states that to manifest your desires, you must release your attachment to them. This may seem counterintuitive. You might think, but Neville, if I want something badly, shouldn't I focus on it intensely? The answer, paradoxically, is no. For intense focus often comes from a place of lack, a place of not having. And remember, what you assume, you create. Instead, cultivate a state of detachment. This doesn't mean you don't care about your desires. Rather, it means you trust so completely in the law of assumption, in the power of your consciousness, that you can relax into the knowing that your desire is already yours. Think of it this way. When you order a meal at a restaurant, do you sit there fretting about whether it will come? Do you constantly ask the waiter where your food is? No, you relax. You engage in conversation. You enjoy the ambience. You know your meal is being prepared and will arrive at the perfect time. In the same way, once you have placed your order with the universe through your assumption and feeling, relax. Trust in the process. Know that what you have assumed must come to pass in its own perfect timing. This principle of detachment is your shield against anxiety and impatience. For how can you be anxious about the future when you know with absolute certainty that your desire is already yours? But detachment does not mean inaction. It does not mean we sit back and wait for our desires to manifest. This brings us to our seventh principle, a principle that teaches us the power of consistent action. Principle 7, the power of persistence. Now, my dear listeners, we come to a principle that is crucial for your success, the power of persistence. This principle teaches us that we must persist in our assumption, regardless of any seeming contradictions in our external reality. Remember the story of Joshua and the walls of Jericho. For 6 days, Joshua and his army marched around the city, blowing their trumpets with no visible result. But on the seventh day, when they gave a mighty shout, the walls came tumbling down. This story beautifully illustrates the principle of persistence. Joshua and his men didn't give up when they saw no immediate results. They persisted in their assumption, in their faith, until their desire manifested. In the same way, you must persist in your assumption of your desired state. Even when your senses deny it, even when the world seems to contradict it, you must hold fast to your assumption. For remember, what you see in the external world is always the result of past assumptions. It tells you where you've been, not where you're going. Persistence doesn't mean struggle or strain. It simply means a calm, unwavering faith in the reality of your assumption. It means choosing again and again to live from the state of your wish fulfilled, regardless of any seeming evidence to the contrary. This principle of persistence is your steadfast companion on the journey of manifestation. For how can temporary setbacks discourage you when you know that your persistent assumption must eventually bear fruit? But persistence must be balanced with rest. It must be coupled with a deep sense of peace and completion. This brings us to our eighth principle, a principle that teaches us the power of divine rest. Principle 8, the Sabbath. As we continue our exploration, we come to a principle that is often overlooked but is of utmost importance, the principle of the Sabbath. In this context, the Sabbath is not a specific day of the week, but rather a state of mind, a state of rest and completion. After you have assumed your desire, after you have felt it real, after you have persisted in your assumption, there comes a point where you must rest. This rest is not inaction, but rather a deep, abiding peace that comes from knowing your desire is already yours. In the biblical account of creation, God rested on the seventh day, not because he was tired, but because the work was complete. In the same way, you must come to a point where you can rest in the absolute knowing that your desire is manifested. This state of Sabbath is characterized by a profound sense of gratitude. You are grateful not for what you will receive, but for what you have already received. For in consciousness, in the only reality that truly matters, your desire is already yours. Entering this Sabbath state is crucial for manifestation. It is the final seal on your assumption, the period at the end of your aversion to the universe. It is the state from which miracles naturally flow. This principle of the Sabbath is your oasis of peace in the journey of creation. For how can you be disturbed by external circumstances when you rest in the deep knowing that all is well, all is complete? But as we rest in this state of completion, we must also understand the dynamic nature of creation. We must grasp the reciprocal relationship between our inner and outer worlds. This brings us to our ninth principle, a principle that reveals the true nature of cause and effect. Principle 9, the law of reversibility. Now, my dear friends, we come to a principle that may challenge your current understanding of cause and effect, the law of reversibility. This law states that while a physical fact can be the cause of an imagination, it is equally true that an imagination can be the cause of a physical fact. In other words, while it's true that external circumstances can affect your mental state, it's equally true that your mental state can affect external circumstances. And since you have direct control over your mental state, you have indirect but very real control over your circumstances. For example, it's commonly believed that wealth brings a feeling of abundance, and this can certainly be true, but it's equally true that cultivating a feeling of abundance can bring wealth. The same is true for any state or circumstance you desire. This principle of reversibility puts the power back in your hands. Instead of waiting for circumstances to change so that you can feel better, you can feel better now, knowing that this feeling will inevitably lead to improved circumstances. Remember, the external world is but a shadow of your consciousness. Change your consciousness, and the shadow must change. This is not wishful thinking or self-deception. This is working with the fundamental laws of creation. This principle of reversibility is your key to freedom from external conditions. For how can circumstances control you when you know that you can reverse the flow, creating circumstances from your chosen mental state? But to truly harness the power of all these principles, to become truly invincible to external influences, we must understand one final, all-encompassing principle. This brings us to our 10th and most profound principle, the principle that underpins all of creation. Principle 10, the I am. And now, my dear listeners, we come to the 10th and most profound principle, the I am. This principle is the foundation upon which all the others rest. It is the ultimate truth of your being. I am is the name of God. And it is your name too, for you are not separate from God, but an individualized expression of the divine. When you say I am, you are invoking the creative power of the universe. Whatever follows I am in your consciousness becomes your reality. If you say I am weak, you invoke and embody weakness. If you say I am strong, you invoke and embody strength. This is not mere positive thinking. This is aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. Understanding this principle, you realize that you are not at the mercy of external circumstances or internal states. You are the chooser of your state. At any moment, you can declare I am and follow it with whatever state you wish to embody. This principle of I am is the ultimate shield against all that would affect you. For how can anything disturb you when you know that you are one with the creative power of the universe? My dear friends, as we conclude our exploration of these 10 principles, I want you to realize the immense power that lies within you. These principles are not mere theories or philosophical concepts. They are practical tools for living keys to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within you. When you truly grasp these principles, when you live from them consistently, you become unshakable. Nothing can affect you because you know that you are the affecting power in your world. You are not a victim of circumstances, but the creator of them. Imagine for a moment what your life would be like if you fully embodied these principles. Imagine moving through your days with the unshakable knowing that you are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. Imagine facing challenges not with fear or anxiety, but with the calm certainty that you have the power to overcome them, to transform them, to use them for your growth and evolution. This is not a fantasy, my friends. This is your birthright. This is the truth of who you are. But remember, knowing these principles intellectually is not enough. You must apply them. You must live them. You must become them. Start now. Choose a state you wish to embody. Perhaps it's confidence, or abundance, or love. Assume that state. Feel it. Live from it. Persist in it. Revise your past to align with it. Detach from the outcome, knowing it's already yours. Enter the Sabbath, grateful completion. Understand that your assumption of this state is creating your reality, and declare with all the power of your being, I am, followed by your chosen state. As you do this, you will begin to see changes in your world. At first, they may be small. A shift in how people respond to you, a fortunate coincidence, an unexpected opportunity. But as you persist, as you deepen your understanding and application of these principles, the changes will become more profound. Your entire life will begin to reshape itself to match your new state of consciousness. And through it all, you will remain unaffected by the storms of life. For you will know with unshakable certainty that you are the weather maker. You are the creator of your reality. My dear friends, this is the promise of these 10 principles. This is the power that lies within you. Embrace it, live it, become it, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. But let us delve even deeper into the practical application of these principles, for it is in their consistent application that true mastery is achieved. Consider your daily life. From the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep, you are constantly declaring your state of being. Every thought, every emotion, every reaction is a declaration of who you are. Are you declaring states of limitation and fear, or states of abundance and power? Begin to consciously choose your declarations. When you wake up in the morning, instead of immediately thinking about the challenges of the day ahead, declare, I am blessed, I am abundant, I am powerful. Feel the truth of these statements. Let them permeate your being. As you go about your day, be vigilant of your mental states. When you encounter a challenging situation, instead of reacting with anxiety or frustration, pause. Remember, this situation is but an outpicturing of your past assumptions. Then, consciously choose a new assumption. Declare, I am capable of handling this with ease and grace. Practice the art of revision throughout your day. If you have an unpleasant interaction with someone, don't let it linger in your consciousness. As soon as possible, close your eyes and revise the scene. See it playing out harmoniously. Feel the emotions of a pleasant, fulfilling interaction. This is not denial, this is conscious creation. Use your imagination constantly. Before important events or meetings, take a few moments to imagine them unfolding perfectly. See yourself speaking with confidence, being received warmly, achieving your desired outcomes. Feel the satisfaction and joy of these successful scenarios. Cultivate the state of the Sabbath. At the end of each day, before you sleep, enter a state of deep gratitude and completion. Regardless of what transpired during the day, choose to rest in the knowing that all is well. All is unfolding perfectly for your highest good. Practice detachment by focusing on the joy of the journey rather than the attainment of specific outcomes. Find pleasure in the process of growth and transformation. Trust that as you align yourself with these principles, your external reality must conform to your new state of consciousness. Remember the law of reversibility. If you find yourself in undesirable circumstances, instead of waiting for them to change so you can feel better, choose to feel better now. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, knowing that this feeling will inevitably bring about the circumstances you desire. And above all, be constant in your awareness of the I am. Let every thought, every word, every action be a conscious expression of your divine nature. For in this constant awareness lies true invincibility. My dear friends, as you integrate these principles into your daily life, you will find yourself becoming more and more impervious to external influences. You will no longer be swayed by the opinions of others, by temporary setbacks, or by apparent obstacles. For you will know with every fiber of your being that you are the creator of your reality. But this journey of mastery is not just for your own benefit. As you embody these principles, as you live from this elevated state of consciousness, you become a beacon of light in the world. You inspire others by your example. You show them what is possible when we fully embrace our divine nature. For remember, the world is yourself pushed out. As you transform your own consciousness, you contribute to the transformation of the entire world. Every assumption of a higher state, every act of revision, every moment of Sabbath rest ripples out into the collective consciousness, elevating all of humanity. This is the true power of these principles. They not only free you from the influence of external circumstances, but they also empower you to become a force for positive change in the world. Imagine a world where more and more people understand and apply these principles. Imagine a collective consciousness rooted in abundance, love, and endless possibility. This is the world you are helping to create as you master these principles in your own life. So I urge you, my dear friends, to take these principles to heart. Study them, apply them. live them. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but contribute to the transformation of the entire world. Go forth now, armed with this knowledge, empowered by this understanding. Be the conscious creator you were born to be. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but you contribute to the transformation of the entire world. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. As you embody these principles, as you live from this elevated state of consciousness, you uplift all of humanity. You become a beacon of light, showing others what is possible when we fully embrace our divine nature. In closing, I want to remind you of a profound truth. You are not merely a human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And armed with these 10 principles, you can make that human experience as glorious, as joyful, as abundant as you choose. Be bold in your assumptions. Be daring in your imagination. Be unwavering in your persistence. For you are the operant power in your world. You are the author of your life story. Nothing can affect you unless you allow it to affect your consciousness. Go now and create the life you've always dreamed of. For you are the architects of your own destiny, the creators of your own reality. Nothing can affect you when you live from these principles. For you are one with the creative power of the universe. And as you go forth, remember that this journey of mastery is ongoing. Each day presents new opportunities to deepen your understanding, to refine your application of these principles. Embrace these opportunities. Welcome the challenges that arise, for they are but invitations to prove the power of your consciousness. Let every experience, whether perceived as positive or negative, be a testament to your creative power. For in truth, there are no positive or negative experiences. There are only opportunities for growth, for deepening your understanding, for strengthening your faith in the power of your consciousness. As you continue on this path, you will find that your life becomes a living demonstration of these principles. You will become living proof of the transformative power of consciousness. And in doing so, you will inspire countless others to embark on their own journey of self-discovery and empowerment. My dear friends, the power to create the life you desire, the power to remain unaffected by external circumstances lies within you. It always has, and it always will. These 10 principles are simply keys to unlocking that power, to bringing it into your conscious awareness, so that you may wield it deliberately and effectively. So go forth with confidence, with joy, with the unshakable knowing that you are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. Let nothing disturb your peace. Let nothing shake your faith. For you are one with the creative power of the universe, and in that oneness lies your invincibility. Thank you. And may your imagination be filled with wonders beyond measure. May your consciousness expand to embrace the infinite possibilities that lie before you. And may you always remember the truth of who you are, the operant power, the divine creator, the I Am. Imagine for a moment that you are standing before a vast ocean. The waves crash upon the shore, each one unique, yet part of the greater whole. You might be a listener like that ocean, boundless, powerful, and filled with untapped potential. But how often do you recognize this truth? How often do you look within and acknowledge the divine spark that resides in your very being? Too many of us spend our days feeling adrift, lost in a sea of external circumstances and opinions. We allow the noise of the world to drown out the whispers of our own inner wisdom. But I say to you now with absolute certainty that the key to finding your way to unlocking the treasures of your true self lies not in the outside world, but within you. To focus on yourself is not an act of selfishness, as some might have you believe. No, it is the most profound act of love and respect you can offer to the world. For when you tend to the garden of your own soul, you cultivate beauty in abundance that naturally overflows to all those around you. Consider the acorn. Within its humble shell lies the blueprint of a mighty oak. It does not look to other trees to know how to grow. It does not seek permission from the forest to reach for the sky. It simply turns inward, taps into the wisdom encoded in its very essence, and becomes what it was always meant to be. You, my friend, are no different. Within you lies the seed of greatness waiting to be nurtured and brought forth into the world. But to do so, you must first recognize and embrace this fundamental truth. You are the author of your own story, the creator of your own reality. The feeling of being lost stems from a disconnection from your true self. It is the result of looking outward for answers that can only be found within. When you focus on yourself, you begin to peel away the layers of conditioning and false beliefs that have obscured your vision. You start to hear the quiet voice of your intuition, guiding you towards your true path. Let us delve deeper into this concept. Imagine your mind as a vast unexplored territory, mountains of untapped potential, valleys of hidden talents, rivers of creativity flowing through the landscape of your consciousness. By focusing on yourself, you become the intrepid explorer of this inner world. Each day becomes an opportunity for discovery, for unearthing the treasures that lie dormant within you. But how, you may ask, does one begin this journey of self-focus? The answer, my dear friends, lies in the power of your imagination. For your imagination is not mere fantasy or idle daydreaming. It is the very workshop of creation, the place where your desires and your reality intersect. When you feel lost, close your eyes and imagine yourself as you truly wish to be. See yourself confident, purposeful, radiating with inner peace and joy. Feel the sensation of being that person, of embodying those qualities. For in that moment of imagination, you are planting the seed of your future self in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is the deliberate use of your God-given faculty of imagination to reshape your self-concept and consequently your entire world. For as within, so without. The world you experience is but a reflection of your inner state of being. To focus on yourself means to take responsibility for this inner world. It means to carefully tend to the garden of your mind, pulling out the weeds of doubt and fear, and planting the seeds of faith and possibility. It means to be vigilant about the thoughts you entertain, the emotions you cultivate, and the beliefs you hold dear. Many of you have been taught that to focus on yourself is somehow wrong or selfish. But I say to you, it is the highest form of service you can offer to the world. For how can you give what you do not possess? How can you lead others out of the darkness if you yourself are lost? By focusing on your own growth, your own alignment with your highest self, you become a beacon of light for others to follow. Consider the great leaders and visionaries throughout history. They did not achieve greatness by conforming to the expectations of others or by losing themselves in the opinions of the masses. No, they dared to look within, to trust their own inner guidance, and to bring forth the unique gifts that only they could offer to the world. You, my dear listener, have a unique purpose, a divine mission that only you can fulfill. But to discover and live this purpose, you must first come home to yourself. You must learn to silence the external noise and listen to the whispers of your own heart. This journey of self-focus is not always easy. It requires courage to face your fears, to confront the limiting beliefs that have held you back. It demands discipline to consistently choose thoughts and actions that align with your highest vision for yourself. But I assure you, the rewards are beyond measure. As you begin to focus on yourself, you will find that the feeling of being lost gradually dissolves. It is replaced by a deep sense of knowing, a certainty about who you are and what you are here to do. This is not arrogance or egotism. It is simply the natural state of a being who has remembered their true identity as a divine creator. Imagine waking up each morning with a clear sense of purpose, feeling fully aligned with your true self. Imagine moving through your day with unshakable confidence, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you are meant to do. This is not a distant dream or an unattainable ideal. This is your birthright, and it becomes your reality when you commit to focusing on yourself. But let me be clear, focusing on yourself does not mean isolating yourself from others or ignoring the world around you. On the contrary, As you become more centered in your true self, you naturally become more connected to all of life. You begin to see the divine in every person you meet, to recognize the interconnectedness of all things. Your relationships improve because you no longer seek validation or completion from others. You come to each interaction whole and complete in yourself, offering your authentic presence as a gift. Your work becomes more fulfilling because it flows from your true passions and talents rather than from a sense of obligation or the need to prove your worth. The key to this transformation lies in your ability to harness the power of your imagination. For your imagination is the bridge between your current reality and the life you desire to live. It is through the consistent, deliberate use of your imagination that you reshape the self-concept, and consequently, your entire world. When you feel lost or overwhelmed, I urge you to pause and turn within. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. See yourself moving through life with purpose and grace. Feel the emotions of joy, confidence, and inner peace that naturally arise from living as your true self. Hold this image and these feelings with unwavering faith, knowing that what you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. This practice of imaginative self-focus is not a one-time event. It is a way of life, a continuous process of aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your highest vision for yourself. It requires persistence and patience, for the outer world does not always change overnight. But I assure you, as you remain faithful to this inner work, your outer world will inevitably conform to your new self-concept. Remember, the feeling of being lost is merely a sign that you have temporarily disconnected from your true self. It is an invitation to turn inward, to reconnect with the wisdom and power that reside within you. Embrace this feeling as a catalyst for growth, as an opportunity to deepen your self-knowledge and strengthen your faith in your own divine nature. As you focus on yourself, you may encounter resistance, both from within and without. Old habits of thinking and behaving may try to reassert themselves. Others in your life may not understand or support your journey of self-discovery. But do not let these obstacles deter you. They are merely tests of your commitment, opportunity to reinforce your new self-concept, and demonstrate the power of your focused imagination. Think of yourself as a sculptor, chiseling away at a block of marble to reveal the masterpiece within. Each day, with each thought and action, you are sculpting your life, revealing more and more of your true self. The feeling of being lost diminishes with each stroke of the chisel, with each act of self-focus and self-alignment. But remember, my dear friends, this work of self-focus is not about reaching a final destination. It is not about becoming a perfect, flawless version of yourself. It is about embracing the journey of continuous growth and self-discovery. It is about falling in love with the process of becoming, of unfolding more and more of your infinite potential. As you focus on yourself, you will find that your definition of success changes. No longer will you measure your worth by external standards or the opinions of others. Instead, you will find fulfillment in being true to yourself, in expressing your unique gifts, in living each day with authenticity and purpose. The world needs you to focus on yourself. It needs you to stop feeling lost and to step into the fullness of who you truly are. For when you do, you become a living example of what is possible. You inspire others to look within themselves, to uncover their own hidden treasures. Imagine a world where each person is fully aligned with their true self, expressing their unique gifts and living their divine purpose. This is not a utopian fantasy. It is the natural result of each individual choosing to focus on themselves, to nurture their own growth and self-realization. As you embark on this journey of self-focus, remember that you are never truly alone. The same power that created the stars and set the planets in motion resides within you. It is always available to guide you, to support you, to illuminate your path. Trust in this power. Lean into it Allow it to work through you as you focus on becoming the highest version of yourself. The feeling of being lost is not your natural state. It is a temporary condition that arises when you forget your true identity, when you look outside yourself for direction and validation. But I say to you now, everything you need is already within you. The answers you seek, the peace you crave, the purpose you long for, all of these are waiting to be discovered within the depths of your own being. To focus on yourself is to embark on the greatest adventure of your life. It is a journey of self-discovery, of self-creation, of self-realization. It is the path to true freedom, to unshakable peace, to boundless joy. And it begins with a simple choice, the choice to turn inward, to trust your own inner guidance, to believe in the power of your own imagination. As you make this choice day after day, moment by moment, you will find that the feeling of being lost gradually fades away. It is replaced by a deep sense of knowing, a certainty about who you are and why you are here. You begin to move through life with grace and ease, fully present in each moment, fully expressing your unique gifts. But let me caution you, this journey of self-focus is not always comfortable. It will challenge you to confront your fears, to question your long-held beliefs, to step out of your comfort zone. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the old feeling of being lost tries to reassert itself. In these moments, remember that discomfort is often a sign of growth. Embrace it as evidence that you are expanding, evolving, becoming more of who you truly are. As you focus on yourself, you may find that certain relationships or situations in your life begin to change. This is natural and necessary. Just as a snake must shed its old skin to grow, you too must be willing to let go of anything that no longer serves your highest good. Trust in this process of renewal and transformation. Know that as you align more fully with your true self, you naturally attract people and circumstances that support your growth and reflect your new self-concept. Remember, my dear friends, that to focus on yourself is not a selfish act. It is the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for the world. For as you nurture your own growth, as you cultivate your own inner peace and joy, you naturally become a source of inspiration and upliftment for others. Your very presence becomes a blessing, a reminder to all who encounter you of their own divine potential. So I urge you, stop searching outside yourself for direction or validation. Stop allowing the opinions and expectations of others to dictate your path. Turn within and focus on yourself. Explore the vast landscape of your own consciousness. Uncover the treasures that lie hidden within you. Trust in the wisdom of your own heart, in the power of your own imagination. As you do this, you will find that the feeling of being lost becomes a distant memory. It is replaced by a deep sense of purpose, a knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you are meant to do. You move through life with grace and ease, fully present in each moment, fully expressing your unique gifts. This, my dear friends, is what it means to truly live. This is what it means to fulfill your purpose. And it all begins with the simple yet profound choice to focus on yourself, to believe in your own inherent divinity, to trust in the power of your own imagination to shape your reality. So I say to you now, with all the love and conviction in my heart, focus on yourself. Stop feeling lost. Embrace the magnificent being that you truly are. Step into the fullness of your divine potential. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but you contribute to the transformation of the entire world. Remember, you are not here by accident. You are not a random collection of cells and experiences. You are a divine being, created in the image and likeness of God, endowed with the power to create your reality through the focused use of your imagination. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding and watch as your life unfolds in ways more beautiful and miraculous than you ever dared to dream. As we draw this talk to a close, I want you to take a moment to reflect on what you've heard. Feel the truth of these words resonating within you. Recognize that the power to change your life, to find your purpose, to stop feeling lost has always been within you. It is not something you need to acquire or achieve. It is your birthright, waiting to be claimed. From this moment forward, commit to focusing on yourself with unwavering dedication. Commit to nurturing your inner world, to cultivating thoughts and feelings that align with your highest vision for yourself. Commit to using your imagination deliberately and consistently to shape your self-concept, and consequently your reality. As you leave this place and return to your daily lives, carry this message with you. Let it be a beacon of light guiding you back to yourself whenever you feel lost or overwhelmed. Remember that within you lies infinite potential, waiting to be expressed. You are the author of your own story, the creator of your own reality. Focus on yourself, my dear friends. Stop feeling lost. Step into the magnificence of who you truly are. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but you become a living example of what is possible for all of humanity. You become a light in the world, illuminating the path for others to follow. Go forth with confidence, with faith, with an unwavering commitment to your own growth and self-realization. Know that as you focus on yourself, as you align more fully with your true nature, you naturally fulfill your divine purpose. You become a blessing to the world, simply by being your authentic self. Remember, the feeling of being lost is not your natural state. It is merely a sign that you have temporarily forgotten who you truly are. But now you know the truth. Now you have the tools to reconnect with your inner wisdom, to tap into your infinite potential, to create the life you desire. So I say to you one last time, focus on yourself. Stop feeling lost. Embrace the journey of self-discovery and self-creation. Trust in the power of your imagination to shape your reality. Believe in the divinity within you and watch as miracles unfold in your life. You are more powerful than you know. You are more loved than you can imagine. You are here for a divine purpose. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding and let your light shine brightly in the world. For in doing so, you not only fulfill your own destiny, but you inspire others to do the same. Go now with my blessings and with the full knowledge of your own divine nature. Focus on yourself, stop feeling lost, and step into the fullness of who you truly are. The world is waiting for your unique gifts, for the expression of your true self. Do not keep it waiting any longer. The time is now. You are ready. Embrace your power. Embrace your purpose. Embrace the magnificent being that you are. And so it is.